what the black man and woman needs to know about the nation, about the world, about themselves. Muhammad Speaks It. To order your 12-issue subscription to Muhammad Speaks newspaper, 313-371-7033. 313-371-7033. Kareem Bean Pie is the grand champion of all bean pies. The rich flavor and smooth texture takes this pie to a whole new level of delicious. One bite and you'll understand why people all over the country call daily to order Kareem Bean Pie. 313-371-7033. That's 313-371-7033. Kareem Bean Pie.
This bean pie is delicious.
Muhammad Speaks presents Messenger Elijah Muhammad's Teachings by Minister Khalil Shabazz every Sunday from 2 to 3 p.m. at Muhammad's Temple of Islam, 12609 East McNichols Road in Detroit.
I'd like to acknowledge the brothers and sisters that extended us the greetings of Assalamu alaikum. We have Brother Yusuf Hakeem from Oklahoma. We have Brother Farouk Muhammad from New York. We have Brother Mustafa and Sister Sharice Ali from Ohio. We have Brother Christopher Carr from Detroit. We have Brother Samori Samad from New York. We have Sister Hala from California. We have Brother Mikhail Shabazz from Tucson, Arizona. We have Brother Minister Kamal Muhammad from Richmond. We have Brother Captain Hakeem from Richmond. And we have Brother Kareem Muhammad. I'd like to say in the name of Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, and in the name of his last and greatest messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'd like to greet the brothers and sisters with the Nation of Islam's greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum. Today, we'd like to talk about Christmas and the false worship of Jesus. First, we like to start with the fakes got video called Christmas is Nimrod Worship. Then they got they group IUIC. Then they got Israel United in Christ, and they got Bishop Nathaniel. This is who they tagging in this video to lead the lost found to them. And this was shared a day ago. Then they got another one. It says Christ's birth is different from Christmas. So in this one, they talking about how Jesus couldn't have been born on the 25th. He was born in the springtime, they saying. Once again, it got IUIC, Bishop Nathaniel, leading the black man to them. So let's show about the messenger, because we always like to talk about the history and show how it's a slap in his face for us as Muslims to allow this to go on. Now let's go to Howard University. That's what we're going to use our example. This is the December 19th, 1969 Hilltop News. This is Howard University's newspaper. We see they have Christmas Week Festival on campus. So this newspaper, they showing all the stuff they doing for Christmas on December 19th, 1969. Then let's move on forward. This one is the December 18th, 1970. So this is a year, next year. It says no Xmas at Howard. Now, why did this happen? How is it that 1 year they can have all this Christmas stuff, then the very next year they saying no Christmas at Howard, at the whole university? Let's talk the history. So now let's fast forward to 1968, because we talked about the first date for the Howard University was December 19th, 1969. So let's go a year before that to 1968. This is the November 1st, 1968, Muhammad Speaks. This is when the Muslims first got the newsstand in Howard University's campus. This is the documented history. So it says apparently, and the title is Howard University Newsstand to feature Muhammad Speaks and Messenger's books. Under the picture, it says featuring Muhammad's publications. Howard University's newsstand prominently displays Muhammad Speaks newspaper and the divinely inspired books by the messenger of Allah, Message to the Black Man, and How to Eat to Live. Also featured are recordings by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Brother Huey X, a former Howard student, sells the Muslim publication. So now let's read the article. It says apparently, in keeping the developing trends of Black awareness, permission was granted recently for the opening of Muhammad Speaks sales stand on Howard's campus. So the messenger was waiting for years to get permission to have a newsstand at Howard University. Because the messenger, before it became popular, and I'm woke to say all this black stuff, these colleges did not want the messenger's teachings on campus. The administrations didn't want them, but the students wanted. So the messenger had to wait 4 years to get permission from the administration to have his publications in the school. So the article goes on. It says Howard University, the scene of many campus demonstrations for Black Power, began this term with announced intentions to encourage student involvement with emphasis upon relatedness to the Black community. As in most institutions, seeking to relate to the Black community, no effort would be substantial without inclusion of the study of the works of Messenger Elijah Muhammad. Many Howard students have long sought to have Muslim literature made more accessible to them. So the article is letting it be known. These college campuses want to keep up with the trends of the day. They having all of these demonstrations, all this Black awareness, and there is no other way for them to keep up with the trends of the day with Black power, Black awareness, Black consciousness without having the messenger's publications. What do you do to a lot? Now let's give 2 more examples because we could go on for hours. I just want that to be known. Within an hour, we can't bring all of the examples. So let's just use 2 more. This is another example of them when these colleges trying to keep up with the trend of Black consciousness and Black awareness. This is September 2nd, 1966. The title of the article is called Negro College Seeks Self-Reliance. They seeking self-reliance. Who they going to? The message. They ain't going to the Black Hebrew Israelites. They going to Messenger Muhammad. So this is the picture of all these students with Muhammad Speaks newspapers. This is the September 2nd, 1966 Muhammad Speaks. It says university program includes reading Muhammad Speaks newspaper as one way of obtaining self-knowledge and self-discovery. These students attending class at the University of Massachusetts Upward Bound program assert the Muslim newspaper is enlightening, educational, and stimulating, offering a new view on the Black man's position in America. Ready to do a lot. So we see in Massachusetts University, we got Howard University, we got Massachusetts University, And let's show one more. For the sake of time, this is not the last one. But just for the sake of time, let's use one more. This comes from the December 13th, 1968, Muhammad Speaks. It says, old issue of Muhammad Speaks is on display at Syracuse, New York School of Journalism. Syracuse University School of Journalism is using the Muhammad Speaks newspaper. This is the facts about the message. When they wanted to keep up with the trend of the day of black awareness, black consciousness, and black power, they weren't seeking after the Black Panther Party. Let's talk about them, because I didn't have time to bring all of this history. Because the Hilltop News, I wish I would have brought. I'll bring it next week. Howard University's newspaper, Hilltop News. In 1971, they had an article that was called The Fall of the Black Panther Party. In this article, they was talking about how the Black Panther leadership was fighting among each other. Then they was talking about how it made it easy for the FBI to infiltrate them because they had all of this infight. And I'm bringing this article next week to read. So the brother said, that's not so with the Nation of Islam. He said, since Brother Malcolm, he said the Nation of Islam learned from that history. So he said, since 1965, the Nation of Islam has closed ranks. He said, we don't see all of this, infighting and disunity among the Muslims. He said it's because of the great leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's right. Them the facts. They wasn't talking about a black Hebrew Israelite. They was talking about the message. So we see documented facts that when these black colleges wanted to keep up with the trend that was popular, not because they loved the message, not because they wanted them students to know all about themselves, but they wanted to keep up with the trend because the students wanted black so much. They began to riot and protest at these colleges, having sit-ins and shutting the whole college down. So the college administration say, keeping up with the trends, we'll allow Elijah Muhammad to have his newsstand. Now let's talk about what was on the newsstand. So we're gonna go to the December 27th, 1968, Muhammad Speaks. Because the brother got the newsstand November the 1st, 1968. So the very next month, Messenger got Christmas. In 1968, what other black group was talking against Christmas? What was the black Hebrew Israelites saying about Christmas in 1968? If I was a black man in 1968 and I wanted to know about Christmas, or even if I didn't want to know, let's say I didn't know nothing about Christmas, how would I know about Nimrod? How would I know that Jesus was not born on the 25th day of December? Could I go to a black Hebrew Israelite publication in 1968 and listen to them tell me about Nimrod? So the message, the only black man in America with a teaching the black man against Christmas. Yes, sir. So let's go even further than that. This is December 27th, 1968, Muhammad Speaks. Now let's go to 1969. This is the January 3rd, 1969, Muhammad Speaks News. It's called Mary, Joseph, and Jesus. Then it got again, Can America Exist? This the message. So I'll say again, it's 1969. I don't know nothing about Nimrod. I don't know nothing about Jesus not being born on the 25th day of December. How would I know that? Who would I go to read about Nimrod? You would have to go to none other than the last and greatest messenger of Allah.
That's right.
Let's go even further than that. Let's go to 1970. This is the December 25th, 1970, Muhammad speaks. Once again, Christmas. Let's keep asking the question. It's 1979. Martin Luther King has been assassinated. The Black Panther Party is being dismantled by the FBI. The messenger been on the scene now for over 30 years. I don't know nothing about Nimrod. How would I know if it's 1970? Who could I go? Could I go to the Black Hebrew Israelites? Could I go to the Black Panther Party? Who could I? Nobody but Messenger Elijah Muhammad. So how much of a slap in the face is it to the messenger that bust out Bishop Nathaniel Ray and all these Israelites can take the teachings of the messenger and give it to the black man like it comes from them?
That's right.
Because the messenger, when he taught us, the Muslims, he just teaches about Nimrod, like bus stop and them doing. They just telling you, oh, Jesus wasn't born on the 25th day of December, because that was in the Bible. That's how they steal all of the messengers' interpretations and everything. Oh, it was in the Bible. You know, Elijah Muhammad stole it from us because it was in the Bible. It was in the Bible in 1969. Where was the Black Hebrew Israelites? It was in the Bible in 1968, 69, and 7. Where was the Black Hebrew Israelites? Let's talk about it. Because I always like to give the history. The messenger said history is best qualified to reward our research. If we don't know what happened yesterday, we don't know what's going on today.
That's right.
So let's talk about these bus stop Bible babbling Hebrew Israelites. Let's go to 1970. We ain't even gonna waste our time in 1968, 1969. Let's just go to 1970. This comes from the December 18th, 1970, Wisconsin Jewish Chronicle. Now, if you want to read some stuff on these Israelites, one of the best places to go is this white newspaper called the Wisconsin Jewish Chronicle. You go to newspapers.com, because what these Israelites was doing, they was bootlicking. That's what they was doing.
Yes, sir.
Because listen to old bust out Bishop Nathaniel Ray. They blacker than the Muslims now. He feel like he teaching the Muslims now with these chicken-hearted coward Muslims. With that hypocrite Louis Farrakhan. They teaching Muslims now. They teaching us about Nimrod. But let's talk about what they were doing in 1970. The article is called 10,000 Black Jews in New York, 4,000 more in Chicago. Because the white man, what I give him credit for, he keeps excellent records. There's all these so black tough niggas today. They don't understand that the history is documented. You can say how black you was, or you, but your history bear witness to what you talking about today. So the white man knew that in New York alone, it's 10,000 Black Hebrew Israelites. Because this is where Bishop Nathaniel's man, Abba Bivens, they was in New York. So it was 10,000 black Hebrew Israelites bootlicking. Then you had Abba Bivens and them fakes copying off the message. So what the article say? The black brother who they interviewing, his name is James H. Benjamin. This is what he gonna say. He said that in this day and age, it is imperative that both black and white Jews recognize that they need each other. He also expressed the view that it was important that white Jews recognize the existence of black Jews and give them the kind of assistance they traditionally had given their own kind. That's how much they was bootlicking. Yes. Bootlicking the white man. They wasn't in nowhere telling the black man that you a Jew. Because the one thing that you will find when you read about these old bootlicking black Hebrew Israelites before they start stealing from the messenger, black was only important so far as to try to prove to the white man you was a Jew like him. It wasn't for you to go out and tell the black man like they do today. In the Bible, it says that Jacob's skin was smooth. The black man's skin is smooth. So you a Jew, black. It wasn't like that. They was going to the white man saying the Bible and say that Jacob's skin was smooth. Like the black, I'm a Jew like you. It says in Job, my skin is black unto the ground. I'm a Jew like you. You need to support us like you support your own kind. They weren't telling the black man about Nimrod. They weren't telling him that Jesus not born on the 25th day of December. But let's go on even further than that. Because the same day that this article came out with the bootlicking black Jews was the same day that the Howard University article came out that said no Christmas at Howard. Same exact day. Now let's read what the brothers at Howard University said why they was not going to celebrate Christmas. It says, is Christmas a thing of the past? And this comes from the December 18, 1970 Hilltop News. It says, is Christmas a thing of the past? When one looks at the Christmas activities being held this year, in contrast to the number that there were held in previous years, it was certainly seeing a thing of the past. He says last year, there was a Christmas variety show sponsored by the ROTC, a Christmas party for children sponsored by the Soul Squad, a university reception, and various parties in the dormitories. This year, the only Christmas activity planned thus far is the College of Dentistry party and the university reception sponsored by the Office of Student Life. Then he goes on to say, it says Sam Wallace, treasurer of Howard University Student Assembly, feels that there are several reasons why this is so. He says because students' lives have changed to confront new problems. They have a negative attitude towards Christmas and its activities. They are disenchanted because there is a lack of a strong black movement and activities that serve to unite black people. They feel that there are more worthwhile activities other than Christmas activities for black people to become involved in. So what they was reading, what they listening to, they said it's much more worthwhile activities that the black man could be participating in. than Christmas. They said we need to have more strong black movements on this campus that promotes black unity. Who they listening to? They listening to the message. They ain't even got to say his name. We can just read what they saying and know. They've been reading Muhammad Speaks newspaper. Because that's the same thing the messenger told us. We even had to not participate in Christmas. The messenger chose for us December to fast. That's right. He promoted that not only to the Muslims, he promoted that to the lost founds too. Yes. He told them the benefit of fasting. He said fasting has good spiritual benefits and health benefits. Yes. He said you should take the fast with the Muslims. That's right. That was the message. To get us away from the false worship of Jesus. That's right. That was the message. But let's go on even further. Because them old bootlicking Jews. This article came out December 18th, 1970. It's from the Wisconsin Jewish Chronicle. This was him bootlicking the white Jew. Telling the white Jew. He said he also expressed the view that it was important that white Jews recognize the existence of black Jews and give them the kind of assistance they traditionally have given to their own kind. So a few days later, in the same white Jewish newspaper, it says organizations set up to aid black Jews. So all that boot-licking and buck dance paid off for the boot-licking black Hebrew Israelite. That's why I refuse to go along with Bishop Nathaniel, Israel United in Christ, or any one of them Israelite groups that disrespect the message. Yes, sir. I read too much history of them old boot-licking Jews to be listening to bus stop Bishop Nathaniel today. Yes, sir. Because these Jews were every other black person, even college students, was saying we need some on this campus, some more powerful black movements that promotes black unity. You had college students protesting, college students going to jail, college students getting killed, trying to unite the black man. Yes, sir. But you got these boot-licking black Hebrew Israelites that didn't even get in the movement, didn't do nothing that just might cause one of them to shed a drop of blood for the black man. But now you got them today in the black community perpetrating a fraud, acting like you love the black man. Only reason why you have all these black Hebrew Israelites today is because they was being rejected by the white Jew. Let's go on with this article. Now this time, this article was a few days after this one. The date on this one was December 25th, 1970. The brothers they interviewing in this one, the brother name is Robert Coleman, and the other brother that was in this one, his name was James H. Benjamin. Go look them up. Because I don't want people to just listen to me. That's why I bring this. I want you to think I'm lying. I want you to think I'm stretching. Go to newspapers.com. Type in Black Jew. Put the dates from like 1950 to 1970. Look at what you read. Look at what they were saying about the black. They didn't care nothing about the black man. They didn't even get involved. Let's read on. The brother named Robert Coleman, this him talking. It says Mr. Coleman also charged that the literature of what he called the cults was repeated with anti-Semitism and black supremacist themes. Who they talk? They talking about bus stop Bishop Nathaniel and Abba Bivens in there. He said their literature, what he calls the cult, is repeated with anti-Semitism and black supremacist themes, alleging that white Jews are Edomites, while only they are the original Jews. Many black Jewish leaders assail the white Jews stealing their religion. But then he said, nevertheless, though, let's break this down to what he's saying. He said, you got these cults, which is bust out Bishop Nathaniel's man, Abba Bivens. You got these fakes who now their literature is filled with this black supremacy. But he said, but nevertheless, he says, many of those same leaders do not hesitate to appeal to the white Jewish community for financial assistance. They still bootlicking.
That's right.
Because when you look at Abba Bivens, who is bust out Bishop Nathaniel's man, he made his group called ISUPK. That stands for the Israeli School of some garbage. But it's Israeli. It ain't Israelite. Who is an Israeli? The white man who's in Israel. They were still bootlicking and buck dance. So let's go on even further than that, because I want to wrap up all the history. So let's go now to the Detroit Free Press, 1970. Because we want to talk about what they was doing when they started stealing it. Because you had far more than Abba Bivens leaving the bus stops. You had Albert B. Cleage. He had what you call black Christian nationalists. All of them were stealing the messenger's teachings, trying to be conscious to keep up with the developing trends. The black man wanted to know all about himself. So the black Christian, the black Jew, and the Orthodox Muslims started to try to update their stuff to be more black. But the one thing that I could say, that I have respect for those other people, they all gave the messenger credit in some kind of way. I didn't have time to bring it all. Stokely Carmichael stole from the messenger, but he still gave him credit. Before Stokely Carmichael died, he said it was Elijah Muhammad that I used to listen to that gave me courage. He said I heard him on the radio saying the white race is a race of devils. That was Stokely Carmichael. Asada Shakur, she said it was Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X. The Muslim influence on our struggle has been very strong. Yes. She said because of Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X, the Muslim influence on our struggle has been very strong. Then you have Huey P. Newton. In 1989, before his death, they said, how did you come up with the 10-point program? He said, I copied the program of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They asked Dick Gregory. He was on a talk show. He talked about how the power of the teachings of Elijah Muhammad. He was sitting on the talk show. He said, y'all don't even know who fixed the drug problem, do you? He said if he was a white man, all of y'all would know who he was. He was like, that man's name is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He said, how do I know? He said all of us had cousins and brothers and family members who were strung out on dope. He said when they left us, their eyes was bloodshot red. He said their skin was all tore up But then when Elijah Muhammad gave them back to us, he said their eyes were shattered. Their skin was bright. He said he cleaned them up by teaching them how to eat to live. That was Dick Craig. Albert B. Cleage. I used to think he was kind of hostile until I saw Bus Stop Bishop Nathan. In his book called Black Nationalism, he talked about how the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has done more to change the thinking of the black man than anybody in the last 50 years. He talked about what he called the Yaqub myth. He got a whole chapter in his book called the Yaqub myth. He said he don't even believe in Yaqub. But he said Yaqub and the story of Yaqub is the most important story that the black man ever heard. Yes, sir. He said we need the Yaqub myth. That's what he said. He said whether you believe it or not. That was Albert. I was surprised. He even talked about Malcolm. Talked about how Malcolm borrowed from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Because he said, that's what I'm doing. So you had all these people who still gave the messenger credit. But then you got Bus Stop Bishop and these chicken-hearted Israelites who talk about the messenger like a dog. Yes. So I say to hell with a black Hebrew Israelite. Don't care nothing about none of them. No, sir. So let's talk about Albert Cleage. This was in the March 28th, 1970 Detroit Free Press. It says new denomination of black militants being launched here. Because even though Bus Stop Bishop be lying, talking about we always knew. We was the Israelite. We always knew. We always were teaching it, and we always knew that. No. Because Albert B. Cleage. Then you had another brother that I ain't had time to bring it up. James H. Cone. He came up with black liberation theology. Them Jews was back of the bus. James H. Cone and Albert B. Cleage was bigger than any Jew. They all coming to his function he got. They wasn't going to no black Jews function. They was the flunkies. Them black Jews wasn't even a part of the movement. So when Albert B. Cleage, because I ain't had time, even James H. Cone, he came up with what you call black liberation theology. He was on a documentary called, God, what that's called. I forget the name of the doc. I'll bring it. But he was on the documentary talking about the messenger. He said, us black preachers, said when we heard down on Elijah Muhammad, we say we knew he was right. He was like, we knew when he used to tell us about separation. Man is dead. We knew he was right. Said we just didn't want to hear it then. That was James H. Everybody who was in the movement back in the day say something about the messenger in their own way. To let it be known, I was thinking one way. Then I heard him. Then he changed me. Even with Muhammad Ali. And we're going to move on. When Muhammad Ali won, I forget what title, but it was in 1974. Right when he's sweating and everybody cheering, the announcer put the mic to Muhammad Ali's face. He said, is this the best moment you ever had in your life? Muhammad Ali grabbed the mic and said, no. The best moment of my life was when I met the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Malcolm X, in his one of his last speeches, I forget which one. He said, even though all the water that has went under the bridge, he said, I must give Mr. Muhammad credit Because he is the one who opened my eyes. He said, he is the one who taught me taught me what I know, and he is because of what I am, because of him. But then he went and started slandering him, but he didn't at least say it that. So everybody gave credit to the message, but these new school Black Hebrew Israelites. But let's talk about this one. It's in the March 28th, 1970, Detroit Free Press. It says, new denomination of Black militants being launched here. Who came to the meeting? This fake right here. I like talking about him. His name is Rudolph Winston. He right here with Bus Stop Bishop Nathan. He is the one who came to Albert Cleage's event. It wasn't a Black Jew event. It was Albert Cleage, who was a Christian preacher, and he got pictures of him all in the Muhammad Speaks. So let's see how they introduce Rudolph Winston. It says Mr. Cleage expects 250 persons, among them young delegates or the young delegation from universities and 20 Black rabbis from New York and Philadelphia at the convention. It says speakers at the session, which will be closed to whites. So all these fakes not trying to imitate the message, because it has been a demand for all of this, that the trend has changed now. The messenger changed the trend. So all these fakes, the fake Black preacher who loved it, that the Black Jew who was bootlicking, now you having to meet, talking about the white man can't come. You know, we don't want the white man to come. So then it says, speakers at the session, which will be closed to whites, are Cobb, Rabbi Rudolph Windsor, author of the book From Babylon to Timbuktu. So this was in March. Rudolph Windsor going to Clear's meeting where can't no whites come. So then, a few months later, in the December 3rd, 1970 Philadelphia Inquirer, you got this same fake having a brotherhood with a white Jew. Because when we read in the article previous, where it talks about organizations set up to aid Black Jews, the brother name was Mr. Robert Coleman. He said all these cults, they doctrine talking all this Black supremacy. He said, but nevertheless, many of those same leaders do not hesitate to appeal to the white Jewish community. So then you got him talking all the big talk. White man can come when you with Albert Cleage. But then when you get back to Philly, you don't hesitate to go back to the white Jew. Just at this bust out Bishop's man. Bust out bit, we always do. We the Israelites. You know, they the fake Jew. We the Israelites. No. Then, this article with his picture in it is in the December 3rd, 1970 Philadelphia Inquirer. If you go read the article that's introducing this meeting, it's in the November 14th, 1970 Philadelphia Inquirer. Not only was these devils Jews, it says they come from the largest conservative Jewish synagogue in Philadelphia. Conservative. Now, whenever you say conservative, you're talking about the hardcore of whatever class you're talking about. If you're talking about a Christian, and he say, I'm a conservative Christian, that means I'm the hardcore Christian. If you're talking about a Republican or a Democrat, if they're a conservative Democrat, they are hardcore Democrat. So you got this fake with the conservative class of the Jews. Now let's go to the message and talk about Nimrod. Because no matter what bus stop Bishop Nathaniel do, they worshiping Nimrod too. Because the messenger said, when he used to write articles about people like bus stop Bishop Nathaniel, he said, these brothers be stealing from me so fast that they don't even get the understanding of what it is they stealing. Bus stop Bishop Nathaniel just know that the messenger was talking about Nimrod. They feel like that's the conscious thing to do. You the conscious black group. You already know because the messenger taught you that Nimrod was born on the 20th. So you just pick that up and start stealing. But what does Nimrod mean? It's not only being that Nimrod's birthday was on the 25th day of December. When you're talking about Jesus is the Messiah and the Savior, that's Nimrod. When you're talking about Jesus had an immaculate birth and he's the Son of God, that's Nimrod. Yes, sir. You ain't getting away just because you're talking about the 25th day of December. And that's what the messenger said. These brothers be stealing it so fast. They don't even get an understanding of what it is that they steal. Let's talk about Nimrod. It says Nimrod killed his father and began sleeping with his mother. Her name was Esther, known today as the holiday called Easter. She had children by her son Nimrod, making Nimrod his own father and son, which was the beginning of the lie that God and the Son are one and the same. It's true that this made Nimrod his own father, but the father and the son could never be identical. This is also where the lie of originated the Immaculate Conception, women giving birth without the agency of a man. All of this is talking about Nimrod. That's right. All that in the New Testament is talking about Nimrod. Yes. It ain't talking about Jesus. So when you got stop Bishop talking about you, Israel united in Christ, you're worshiping Nimrod yourself. Yes. And that's how Allah makes a mockery of them. Messenger made an article. Couldn't bring it. Talking about the hypocrites and disbelievers. He said the hypocrites and disbelievers make fun of the Muslims and say, should we believe like the fools believe? That's what they say. But stop Bishop Nathaniel and that chief hypocrite Louis Farrakhan, because I ain't going to have time to talk about that hypocrite like I wanted to. He a hypocrite. Yeah. Messenger said about a hypocrite. He didn't just say that Muslims hate the hypocrites. They ain't just leave it at that. He said the hypocrites are the most hated by Allah, the messenger, and those who follow him. I just wanted to slide that in there about this hypocrite Louis Farrakhan. Yes, we ain't got no love for him. No, sir. He's a hypocrite. That's right. And the messenger told us that you always talk about the characteristics of the hypocrites, yeah, so that you can inform the believers and the lost found to always know, to be able to point out the characteristics of a hypocrite. Yes, sir. And Louis Farrakhan got them all. Because the messenger said, one of the characteristics of a hypocrite, and we're going to get back on Bus Stop Bishop. One of the characteristics of a hypocrite, messenger said a hypocrite is not satisfied with what they've been taught by Allah and his messenger. So he said they continuously add falsehood to it. Yes. That's one characteristic of a hypocrite. Yes. Another characteristic of a hypocrite. The messenger said the hypocrite is not loyal He said 1 minute the hypocrite will go on the side of the devil. Then the next minute he on the side of the Muslims. Yes. He said that's a hypocrite. That's right. He's neither this nor that. Right. That's Louis Farrakhan and this hypocrite nation of Islam. That's him. And we keep the characteristics of the hypocrites known. Not only for the believers and the lost found. So we also, all of us can see the hypocrites. Because all that's going on now is Allah is making the hypocrites manifest. Yes, sir. Because the messenger asked us the question, who is that mystery God? We all say, there is not a mystery God. The Son of Man has searched for that mystery God for trillions of years and was unable to find a mystery God. So they have agreed that the only God is the Son of Man and waste no time searching for that does not exist. That's what we say. We say we believe that. Then the messenger asked us another question. He said, will you sit at home and wait for that mystery God to bring you food? We all say, yeah, we believe. Emphatically, no. Emphatically, no. We who have been lost from our home for 379 years have tried this so-called mystery God for bread, clothing, and a home. And we receive nothing but hard times, hunger, naked and out of doors. Yes, all so beaten by the ones who advocated that kind of a God. No aid came, no help came to us until the Son of Man came to our aid by the name of our prophet W.D. Farah. We say we believe that, but we sit around and let us spook worship. Tell the black man about Nimrod. When the messenger told us about Nimrod, he said, what God in the person of Master Farah Muhammad taught me. He never told us one thing that he didn't point to Master Farah Muhammad. And that's why he told all of us. He said, tell the people where you got it from. He said, don't make the people think you got it from yourself. He said, because if you follow me, I will lead you to God. Yes. That's what we're supposed to do. Yes, so when we're talking about Christmas, the point is not just to tell the black man that Nimrod was born on the 25th day of December. The most important thing about Christmas is to say that Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that Nimrod was born on the 25th day of December. Yes, sir. That's more important than they telling them about Nimrod. Yes. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us about Christmas. Because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gonna tell the black man, as Allah taught me that Nimrod was born on the 25th day of December. Yes, sir. That's how it's supposed to go. Because this is our holy month of Ramadan. Yes. It's coming to a close. But this whole month, the messenger said, we're supposed to keep our mind on our Savior, Master Farah Muhammad. Yes, sir. Messenger told us we're not supposed to fight or argue with each other. But he left room open for us to fight. Muslims always can fight. Even when we pray, we have those who stand watch. Everybody don't bow their head and close. Some people stand watch for the purpose that they see anything out of order. They go, Allahu Akbar. That's right. That's the purpose. We always got the door open to fight. And that's what we intend to do. In my close. Well, brothers and sisters, we don't want to prolong the time. So I leave you as I came in the nation of Islam's greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum.
Enjoying the show? Help keep us on the air. 313-371-7033. That's 313-371-7033 to make a donation.
Brothers and sisters, we rise for prayer. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful. All praise due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the beneficent, the merciful. Soul Master's day of judgment in which we now live. Thee alone do we serve, and thee alone beseech for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path. Path of those upon whom thou bestow thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they heard thy teachings. Say he, Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none deserve to be served or praised besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Rab Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is thy true servant and last apostle. Ameen. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us not to do anything to anyone that we wouldn't have done it to ourselves, treat everybody right, even the devil. Assalamu alaikum.